Alright, let's talk about Perseus Titan Slayer. This is an action roguelike hack and slash with an isometric point of view. Is it worth playing? I'll be giving you a quick summary of the game, then my final thoughts on who I think should be interested in picking this game up. Let's get started. Set in ancient Greece, you play as Perseus. You are basically a demigod, and your goal is to take down the Titans and their minions. With this being a roguelike, you can expect this sort of game loop, with the one and done runs. However, this game does have meta upgrades as you play the game. There's lots of choices on rooms and paths to go, and of course, being an RPG action, you can have lots of different sorts of upgrades for your stats, running speed, attack, damage reduction, and of course, new skills to use. Let's get into the combat and flow. You can choose between 4 different starting weapons. You have your sword and shield, giant two-handed sword, twin daggers, bow and arrow. Each of them have their own starting skills, and they also give you some potions to recover your health and your mana. Combat starts off pretty simple. You have a click to attack, and then you have hotkeys for your skills that use mana. You're going to be running around lots of different rooms fighting enemies, small enemies, elites, bosses, and even traps. As you play, you're going to be leveling up in the form of gaining skill points by picking them off the ground. You're going to get lots of gold, ton of drops, full armor sets like helmets, hand wraps, even jewelry, different weapon types, gems that you're going to be slotting into your gear, and each gear has their own tier. You have your tier 1, 2, 3, 4, and they have lots of effects that come with it. You're going to be choosing your paths on the map to plan out each run, just like you would see in like a Slay the Spire or any other roguelikes. You have basic enemy rooms, rewards for gold, traps, elites, and bosses, and at the end of every single floor, you have a reward treasure chest and a shopkeeper. With the shopkeeper, you're going to be buying things, selling things, and upgrading your equipment. Your skill points goes into all of your already learned ones. I think they go from level 1 to 4, and it does, things from increasing the damage, the cooldown reduction, all the way to maybe even increasing your health received if you, decide to upgrade your mana pots. So basically, your goal is to get strong, go as far as you can, fight a boss, and then do the runs all over again. However, with harder ascensions that make it so you get less benefits, like maybe less life gems to recover, enemies are harder, but you do have meta upgrades to increase your overall stats with your favorite weapons. Okay, so now for my final thoughts. I think I'm like 50-50 on this game to recommend it. It has some really nice high points, the combat is really good, but there's a lot of low points, which I will get into. It makes it feel like this game should have been like 80% done in early access. It launched in version essentially 1.0 right now. Okay, let's go over the good stuff first. The combat, as mentioned, it is fun and over the top. It is non-stop action. It feels like a late game Diablo/PoE where you're just trying not to die with insane map clusters of enemies, kiting them, using lots of cheese, and just running all over the place using skills and cooldowns. Upgrades are very, very abundant. You are always getting lots of permastat upgrades via drops on the ground. You're just eating consumables, getting lots and lots of equipment with different tiers, trying to figure out which is the best helmet to use, which is the best shield to use, and you're going to be upgrading them via shops. So not only are you finding tiers, but you're making them +1, +2, +3, and then infusing them with gems that also give you extra really nice passive abilities, like 10% chance for this weapon to now shock enemies in an AoE, stuff like that. And I guess you can't go wrong with the roguelike replayability. You go in as far as you can, you lose, maybe because you fought an enemy that's just, way out of your range right now, you get to try again. A simple run maybe took me around 40 to 60 minutes to beat, so it's not too hard at the beginning, but as you play the different ascensions, yeah, it starts to really get there. Okay, some of the bad stuff though. I feel like the game was very, very unoptimized. I think it's only going to be launching on PC right now. Basically, the performance is no bueno. It had very, very high CPU and GPU usage. So I don't know if that was just me because I was streaming it and recording, but I couldn't run stuff like Elden Ring on very high during that, so no problem. it's stuff that they can tweak, but that's just, you know, me going in right now, letting you know it's a little optimized. It might just be my setup, so take this little nitpick with a grain of salt. However, I think the game is really unbalanced. There's obvious better gear because it's, you know, it's laid out there with different tiers. Oh yeah, tier 4 is obviously better than a tier 2, but some stuff do need tweaking. A lot of the numbers and just some of the mechanics I think needs to just get straight out removed. For example, you're going to be getting tons and tons of sort of choices where you're going to want, oh, do I want flat damage reduction? Or do I just want +2 damage reduction armor? So it's like really redundant, and I feel like they should have gotten rid of some of those and just made it all like all percentages or all stats, not a mix of both. It just feels like one is always better than the other. Another tiny thing is not full control support. I went in thinking, hey, this one would be really nice to play with my Xbox One controller. You can do some things, but my god, it's just not fully in there yet. I had the keyboard and mouse it's not the worst thing in the world, but just so you know, I feel like they hopefully should patch that in the future. But if not, then dang, just leaving it as partial is, it's kind of weird. And I just think the game just needs more smoothing out in general across the board. Who would I recommend this game to? I would say anyone who actually is into action roguelikes and enjoys, like I mentioned, the Diablo / PoE sort of game feel where you're just tons and tons of damage, skills, mana, you know, trying to manage all of your health, your potions, upgrade, etc. It's pretty good for the price at around $8. And if you could find it on a sale for maybe $5, it's a really, really nice pickup at that. But I maybe suggest, because I did say I'm 50-50 on this, maybe wait to see, maybe in a week or two, maybe even 3 weeks, to see if they come out with any sort of announcements, maybe any sort of just hot fixes, so you know that they do want to fix it up. Because I feel like if they kind of smooth out the small nitpicks I had, this game would be a really, really solid buy, right? But yeah, it's a quick fun. It felt like at launch it should have just been in early access, by like 80 to 90% done in early access, right? But it launched as a full game, so I don't know if they decided to just really rush this thing out or what, but here's hoping that they don't drop it and they continue updating it. And that's going to be it for me today. If you guys enjoyed, like, subscribe, all of that good stuff. All the footage you're seeing will be on my secondary Let's Play channel, and I will be streaming a lot of more games, so please follow me on Twitch, Twitter, Discord. Everything is in the description. Let me know what you guys think about this game down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.